She is in Durham, honey. Listen, why do people do that?
She's in Winston, though.
It doesn't
drive
matter.
all the way to Durham.
I take it as a personal health day. You know what I'm saying? And I cut my music on or off, open the sunroof. Sometimes I may take some business calls or whatever, but sometimes I don't. I drive down there. I let her do my nails. We're there for a good 3.5 hours. Eat some lunch. Yeah, 3.5 hours for a fill-in. And then I bounce back on the highway. It's 45 minutes.
No, Natalie stayed 5 minutes from me. That's her real name. That's what she told me her name. That's her American
Natalie.
Maylene name is. She said, I said, what's your name? She said, Natalie.
No, it's not Natalie. I made all of that up.
You gonna bring us in?
All right.
I said, I'm gonna teach you how to shape my nails next time I come. And she looked at me. I was like, I'm serious.
I have to teach you how to do mine. That's what you got to do. Listen, teach people what you want. All right. We ready?
We're in action.
All right, happy hump day, everybody. It's Wednesday. It's 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You all are listening to Key Squared on the air, or you may be watching us on our YouTube channel.
An hour later, because you going to have to watch it, listen to the show before you see the show.
Yeah, I mean, this might be simple, stuff that people know, but just in case they don't. This is why I have, my co-host here, your girl.
Nakesha Writes.
She's in the building. We also have our beautiful, lovely, divine sister here that's here to talk with us. Her name is Carla Simpson. She is an extraordinaire. She is a comedian, like your panties gonna fall off laughing so hard comedian. Okay. She acts, she writes, she does so many different things. We're here to talk to her, and we are excited to have you here. We hope we can get through this segment without our panties falling off, because we're gonna be laughing so hard. That's what it's gonna be. So, introduce yourself, sweetheart.
Make sure ain't no lipstick on my face. I'm Carla Simpson, if you
Where'd you get that sound?
That's
sound like a sexy tone voice.
I just listen. I'm trying to be professional.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I'm trying to be professional.
I'm going to sip some water on that.
But I'm Carla Simpson. I mean, she said, that's it.
Crazy Carla.
I'm crazy, Carla.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that we've been on a play. We only been in one play together?
That's
y'all do so much. It just seems like you've been working.
That's crazy, but we were in that one play together like 4 times.
In the movie. Y'all made me have hot flash up in here. Oh my goodness. Let me tell y'all something about these butterflies.
Butterflies somewhere else.
Just let that butterfly loose.
Just let it free.
Let it be free.
I love that ring.
It's something going on in the atmosphere that the butterfly does not want to stay with you.
It's okay.
Listen,
so
I'm let it go.
Let's get.
Okay.
So you, like we said, you do acting. So wait a minute. So are you gonna have another all girls comedy show coming up?
Oh, that was so nice.
Pandemic totally messed up my plans that I had, because I was rolling. I was like, okay, so I have my all girls show. So what I was gonna do was jump right into doing a Carla and the Bros show, because I'm always the only girl on my ticket when I do comedy. I always do it with my brothers in comedy, whomever it may be, like James Lyons and Los or whatever. So that's why when I did the girls show, I was like, okay, so I gotta find me some girl comics that I think are funny enough to be on the big with.
And boy, did you find them, honey. That thing was off the chain.
We had so much fun, and I just really want to do that again, because I feel like female comics don't get their props.
Yeah, they don't.
Definitely. And I'm looking forward to the next show. I'm going to put on my first play.
Okay, first, why do you feel like female comics don't get their just due? And then second, what is the name of the play?
Okay.
In that order.
Well, I feel like female comics don't get that. I feel like now they're starting to get a little shine, but you got to be like this gorgeously gorgeous woman or this ragamuffin. Like they don't have like that
no
in between for females. And like for me, I just felt like, listen, when I started doing comedy, I was married, I had 4 kids in the house, I was working 2 and 3 jobs, I was tired.
That was wrong right there. You was married.
That was my relief.
2 jobs.
And you know, it was just a whole mess. And I was like, I'm nothing like these other comics that I see getting on TV, you know, or that I go see performing. And I think comedians, all comedians that I know, for every laugh we give, we have something tragic behind that thing. And I think there are so many women out here who want to make you laugh because it's their stress release. It's definitely my stress release.
I think as a writer altogether, like when I write, I tend to write more freely about pain than I do about happiness. And it just always just comes out. It seems like the pain ones, just like with Keisha Cole's little song, her pain songs be like, ooh. But then when she was writing them happy songs, it was like, can you
well, that's just like Mary J. Blige.
But I think that's in all things that you do, right? So I always say you always have to find a purpose in your pain, right? So everybody has their struggles. Everybody has skeletons in their closet. Everybody has trauma in their history. But you have to find the purpose in those things. And through that, a lot of times you have to laugh at it. You have to laugh at it to get through it. Because that's what I do. I laugh at everything.
I do.
So I don't mean no harm. You can fall down the steps. I'm going to laugh at you first. And then I'm gonna make sure you all right. But that's just a part of who I am. Like it comes out automatically.
You bet not laugh at me when I fall. You need to laugh after. Listen, after, not during.
If you fall, I'm definitely.
She can't help it.
Listen, I am. I laugh at babies and stuff too all the time. Like stuff happens to babies.
Oh, you know, it's just so random. When you see a little ugly baby, I don't mean to say that, but you don't know what your reaction is gonna be. Because you know. Nobody talks about these things like little ugly kids.
Listen,
what do you say when you see an ugly kid? You're like,
I'm gonna tell you right now. This is what I say when I see an ugly baby. Because me and my father had this conversation. People be like, oh, all babies are cute. That is a lie. And y'all know it. Y'all know that some of these babies
especially when they look like
horrible
their
looking.
Yeah.
Or both their parents.
Oh, but let me tell you, what God does is He gives ugly people gorgeous babies. It's like He balances out the universe. That's because they grew up ugly, so He gave them like these gorgeous kids. And then like the pretty girls, the mean girls, the guys who always was like, you know, I'm that
dude. Their parents is
they kids be looking like, ooh, and you be like, sometimes you be like, you know, that's why that baby looked like that, because they was so ugly.
Right?
You know,
the universe comes back.
Inside.
I tell people this all the time. Karma is a
you always think stuff like that, ain't it something?
Listen, karma is something, and she comes back, and usually when she come back, she on her cycle, she got cramps. She's not gonna be nice to you. So when I see these ugly babies, this is what I have. Right? When I see the ugly babies, I just look at the baby and I just say, well, look at there. That's a baby. And look at that baby's nice outfit. You have dressed this baby very nicely. And do you want to hold her? I most certainly do not want to hold the baby.
I do, but I like even look.
I don't want to hold the ugly babies. I feel like it's going to rub off on me.
It's not Keisha.
I'm just saying.
No. Everybody deserves love.
Everybody has energy. You got to watch energy. And babies have energy too.
No, but ugly babies have the best energy.
Oh my God.
Just like ugly people. Ugly people are the nicest people.
No, they are not. They are not the nicest
ugly people.
They're mad
have the best personalities.
Ma'am, they mad because they ugly. Let's start with that. They mad because they ugly. And sometimes they don't want to admit that they have this ugliness about them. And I'm talking about people who are attractive that are ugly too.
That's ugly on the inside.
But what about the ugly on the outside?
But the little baby, it's a baby. They not ugly on the inside. Yeah.
You don't know that. You don't know where they came from.
So we finna go to break.
I'm just saying.
Because we're going to have this ugly baby discussion off of the air. So make sure y'all tune in every Wednesday at 2 p.m.
Not with your ugly babies.
Eastern Standard Time to Key Squared on the air. I don't know what happened.
The baby ain't ugly on the inside yet.
Okay, well, y'all I know it's some boo boogers.
Boogers.
But
I don't want to hold your ugly baby.
I'm not that person. I think all kids deserve.
I'm not going to hold your ugly baby. What am I going to say?
But it be that
people hold the babies and they be like, oh,
I know when one of mine came out, I was kind of like, hold on. When one of mine, I'm talking about my own kid. When one of mine came out, I was like, why is his head pointy? I was like, let's rub his back round.
That's not ugly because my oldest daughter, she had a Tweety bird until high school.
You gotta shape it.
Her hair was bigger than her whole body. Like her body was
you gotta shape it like your grandma used to do. You gotta rub them heads.
Like
You ever seen the babies? And they like when you look at them from the front, they have like a perfect shape, and then they turn the baby to the side, and it look like all they did was let the baby go inside. They got a hook on the back.
Those are the ones I like. I like the little babies.
You must like handicapped animals too.
No, I don't do critters.
Look, I did like
You might like
Now, see, I'm the opposite. Now, just like people, like I think I'm very obsessed with little kids and children. To me, I love kids, but the critters, we don't do that.
Listen,
we don't do
I love
I don't
children.
do dogs and cats and all that. No, ma'am. Now, I could do a small teeny dog or a German Shepherd, and that's because I grew up with one.
Wait, you went turn them into a
German
because
Shepherd
I
is
know
good.
they're now, but no, German Shepherds, if you know them from puppy stage, they are so protective of you.
So
They won't do
dogs are
nothing
like that.
But
Oh,
I don't know them dogs.
in?
I don't know them.
You want me to bring it back in or?
Oh, I'm sorry.
We gonna talk about what inspired you to write your play.
Oh, and I hope it wasn't an ugly baby.
Listen, oh, my neck, oh, it's popping.
I don't know what's going on with y'all energy. Y'all keep losing y'all jewelry. What's going on? I'm trying to keep my crystals so y'all back up.
Listen, I got my tourmaline on. Look, so we safe now.
Okay.
What is going on?
So we back.
Okay, wait a minute.
Oh, keep it together.
Yeah.
All right. Oh God.
Is you ready?
I'm ready. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you for tuning in to Key Squared on the air. I'm your girl Nakesha Writes.
Y'all know what it is. They call me Miss Key.
And we are here with our beautiful sister friend Carla Simpson.
Sound effect.
Yep. Sound effects all day, every day. So when we left off with some craziness, but we back and you know true. We said you said that you were writing a play, so I would like to know what inspired you to finally write a play.
So I had been thinking about it. I had talked to I was actually, talking to my friends always. Brings up creative stuff for me. But anyway, I had been thinking about, I see everybody doing plays and stuff, and I've always been a writer, right? I did spoken word before I did comedy. So I always am writing stuff down, and I'm like this big imaginary in my head person. So what I did was I watch, what's the show with Henry Louis Gates?
I don't know.
Finding Your Roots, where he traces people's genealogy.
Okay.
And I've always been curious about PBS. I'm a PBS person. I'm a weirdo. So it's funny how like what you've been told about your family members versus what's really true about your family members. And now that we're in this age of DNA and finding out stuff, like, people have had to totally come out the closet and be like, oh, surprise, I'm black. Oh, surprise, great grandma, she was Indian, she was white, or,
where they got a ghetto twin.
Like you're adopted. Like, so I know, like, I literally had a best friend in high school who she didn't know she was adopted until the year we were graduating.
Wow.
Like, cause her dad was her dad, but she thought her dad was her sibling's dad. No, he raised them, but that was only her daddy. But they never saw fit to tell her. And I was like, well, what about y'all's photo albums? And like, cause I'm the person that asks questions. So
my dad was adopted, and he didn't meet his family until I was born. He was best friends with his brother, and didn't even know. Yep. See,
and there's stuff like that makes me wonder. So that's how I got to this play. So I'm doing a play that's a series of monologues, and it's called Generations. And what I'm doing is,
girl, you need to have me on there.
I have all these different women. No, it's not that. We're gonna go through our family line, maternal and paternal. I'm going back to my great-great-grandmother, who, I love the story my grandma used to tell me. My great-great-great-grandma was a slave. And she would tell them the story of when she became free. She said people ran up on the plantation and were like, we're free. And she was like, free from what? And she was hanging out clothes. And they said, free, like free. We're not free. We gotta hang these clothes up just more. And they was like, Master said we gotta go to the big house. He gotta talk to all the slaves. And so she said, while everybody was going to the big house, she took one of them sheets off the line. She went in her cabin. She took everything she had. She put it in the sheet. Tossed that thing up, threw it over her shoulder, and she walked off that plantation. She said, I didn't even look back. Because she said, I didn't want to turn into a pillar of salt or nothing. I was free. I was out. And I think about that. And I said, I come from that lady. You know, I come from that lady. And I think it'll be thought-provoking. I think it will entertain some of us, make some of us cry, all of that stuff. Because I'm always wanting to discuss stuff. Like, I want to discuss stuff. I don't want to argue about stuff, but I want to discuss stuff.
Now, I did know my great grandmother for my dad. I've never met my mom's dad because he died when she was 2. But I did meet his mom, so my great grandmother on that side. And I remember we would come down from Connecticut. We came down when my grandmother brought us down, and she took us over there to see her. And it was like 6 or 7. It was like 7 cousins. My great grandmother had like just a regular car. All 7 of these kids was in this car. I was like on the floor of the front seat, and everybody was all. And I remember her just riding down.
Grandma didn't care nothing about nothing.
We was we live, y'all.
Yeah,
we were in some dangerous situations as kids, and then
I knew my grandmothers. On both my mother and father's side, but the difference is on my father's side, because there was a disconnect with my mom and his family, that I didn't get a chance to spend a lot of time with them. But I have very, very distinct memories of spending time with her. You know what I'm saying? Right. And like those memories don't go away. We spent a lot of time with my mother's mother, she's from North Carolina. I'm from Philadelphia originally.
Right.
But we would come down here in the summer. And so that's where a lot of my grandmom-ness, I guess you would say, those memories come from, of being down here in the summer and spending time with her. And my aunties, my great aunts, would come down from Detroit every summer. And just sitting on the front porch, listening to them tell stories. So that is the knowledge that I have on both sides of my family, really.
Yeah.
You know, I think more people need to sit with their elders in the family and just sit back and listen to them kick it. Listen to those stories that they tell.
My grandma just be talking junk about people. Did you see what she had on? Like, that's how I was sitting next to her at a family cookout, any family function. I'm gonna sit next to my grandma because I'm gonna hear, she ain't got no clothes on. You know, that's what you gonna hear.
But then she gonna be like, hey, baby.
Yeah.
I think that I'm gonna do this play, and it's gonna be in 2 parts. And I think that a lot of us as Black people, especially, we don't know who we are. We know who we think we are. We know what we've been told, a lot of us. But past a certain point, a lot of us don't know who we are. And that is because some of us had to assimilate. Some of us had to survive and walk away from like death-like situations. I found out that, you know, like there are people in your family too that you go, what? You know what I mean? You be like, oh, like not in a good way. You be like, like, you know, and I just feel like, I mean, let's just keep it real. Like, you know, some of us don't know the other parent, whether it be the mom or the dad, not because they dead, just because they just didn't have nothing to do with you. You know, a lot of us were brought up by step parents. I mean, I wasn't brought up. Let's be clear. My mother's husband. And that's what I call him. My mother's husband, who she married. That's how I ended up in Winston-Salem. My mother married a dude from Winston, and that's her husband.
That's like a baby.
Yeah, you know. Baby. And may the force be with him. He's her husband. And I like his family, you know, and he has grown over time. He's my mother's husband. So we learn from these things. We learn from these family dynamics. But, yeah, Generations is going to be dope.
So when is it coming out?
I'm hoping to have this thing up by spring of next year.
Okay. Awesome. All right. And is it going to be in
the
Triad area? That's Greensboro, Winston-Salem, High Point, North Carolina, for those of you who don't know.
I'm trying to do stuff in Winston, y'all, but
why?
Winston act like they don't be wanting to come unless they going somewhere else, you know, and I'm just going to keep it real. But what I can say is when I did the all-female comedy show, I said that. And I said, no, they gonna come to my stuff, doggone it. And it was standing room only. And y'all saw that. Yeah. And I was like, I'm gonna make people come. And sometimes I want to do that.
Let me tell you about this standing room before we go ahead to this break. So we go into Carla's comedy.
When we first got there?
We got the Carla's comedy show, and you know we didn't have no VIP ticket. This lady told us go sit at this table. So we sitting at the table. I'm like, Key, you're not supposed to be at this table. And I'm about to get. She said, you don't sit. And we stayed at that little table. Honey. Nobody moved us, and I was grateful.
Listen, because I feel like the universe places you exactly where you're supposed to be. And there was, you know, no reason for that woman out of all the people that was in there for her to be like, you two come sit right here. We were supposed to be right there. Up front, up close, where we could hear that comedy. That was my first experience seeing you.
Oh, wow.
That was the first time of me seeing your comedy. So, yeah, I tell you, see, Key don't be on me with this thing right here. Let me tell you something. It's just like when I talk about God's timing, right? She's always mad at me because she feels like I run a little bit late. I feel like I am on God's timing. I am on God's timing. I am there exactly according to the book, okay? Not my book, not your book, but God's book. And you can't change his book.
And this is exactly why our next guest is sitting and waiting on the couch when he was supposed to start 20 minutes ago.
Listen, he can't persecute me for my religious beliefs, and neither can you. Okay?
But we're going to go to break, but our artist spotlight, because I know we ain't going to be playing much songs on this segment at all, but our artist spotlight is going to be one of the local artists from Greensboro, North Carolina. His name is Witness, and his song is Lord Willing.
Okay. See, it's so fitting that we did that.
Yeah,
and that's what you grab. And that's something that I always used to say, Lord willing.
Lord willing. Or inshallah, for those of you who don't know, you better keep it.
Exactly.
So we actually
we taking a little break?
I don't really know. We came back. No, we on break now.
Oh, we on break. Okay. I would love to talk to you more about this thing, about your project too, because I know you didn't say it, but let's talk about the generational
that much of a break
issue of mental illness that runs in the family and how that affects. So we got
that's right.
Or when you have children with somebody who has that
in the talk.
So close it up. Okay, 4 or 5 minutes.
And you don't realize that they got all this mental health situation in their family, and you be like, baby, now you cute, but I didn't know all this was dragging on your cousin.
Generations. All right, so we're bringing it back in. You bringing it back in?
You can. We gonna talk about see what she has coming up. What she has coming up and how people can book her.
All right.
All right.
You gonna clap or no? Okay. So welcome back, everybody. We are sitting here with the beautiful Miss Carla Simpson. We only have a few minutes to wrap this up, y'all. So we're gonna keep it going. I know the conversation has been very interesting. So me and my Philadelphia fast talking, we're gonna go ahead and make sure we wrap this up. So Carla, tell us what you have coming up in the near future and how people can get in contact with you. Share your IG, your Facebook, your phone number if you want to.
Okay, well first let me share that first because I always forget. So I'm on Facebook under Carla Simpson. I'm on Instagram under Afro
8801,
and that's A as in Apple Harold Frank Robert Oscar 101. See, that's my customer service voice. Anyway, so I'm on there. I'm on Twitter as Afro10, which is my moniker. That's what I did that's what I did spoken word under, which translated to comedy and blah, blah, blah. And at the time, I had a little short, teeny weeny afro, and I just never changed it. So, yeah. And that's it.
So what you got coming up?
Well, I'm getting ready to be in a play called The Lies That Bind.
The Lies That Bind.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And that's going to be in Rocky Mount, November 21st. Mm-hmm. Tracy J production. If y'all have ever been to a Tracy J play, you know they be off the hook. Mm-hmm. I've been in one of her productions. I played Nurse Paula in Not My Brother's Keeper, which was really good. I have that. I'm doing comedy all the time now. That pandemic is unpopping or whatever. And
if we ever get this movie finished, she will be coming out and caking up. We work.
And my granddaughter, shout out to Nakesha. She's like, when we on this? Because she's in the movie with me. Yeah. So I'm like, listen, look, she just got her little driver's license. So, you know, she popping out in these streets. So, listen, I'm doing comedy. I'm acting. I'm praying I'll get some more roles. The Bridge just came out.
And you will.
And I'm here. And I just, like I said, I make my own stuff. I make my own lane. That's how I did. Like, when I started doing comedy, I was working at a job for 14 years. I got laid off. I started catering because I can cook. Mm-hmm. You know, I did that for a minute. I was working at Marshall's. I was waiting tables. Mm-hmm. And when you're out here in this industry, you make your own lane. That's it. If you're not going to hire me for a comedy show, I'll make a comedy show.
No, that's right.
Make a TV show. I'll make a podcast. Hell, if I had to have y'all in my backyard and give y'all some damn Kool-Aid. Would you like orange, red, or cherry?
Pick a color. Pick a color.
So, yeah, thank y'all for having me. You know,
thank you for coming.
Y'all. I love the Keishas and Keishas.
That's right. Key Square.
We have, because my little thing just died over here. We
What?
do have the random question. Pew, 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 pew.
Y'all see how they just be saying my pew, 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 pew.
Yes, that's what we do. That's what I love it.
Because it's just the best thing.
I always gotta show out, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
All right,
that was a perfect pune though. I
like when you shoot them down though.
Ooh, I want some of that purple rain tea. Pew.
Yeah, but you gotta. I want some of that purple rain tea. Pew 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 pew.
Oh,
Like,
no, she
you
didn't
know.
do the.
Yeah, you gotta do the fingers with it. You gotta do the fingers. Okay,
That's
so
the
I
Let's
just
go.
picked some random stones because I know you are into all of your copper and your stones and all of that energy. So would you go with an emerald or a turquoise?
Definitely turquoise.
Why?
Spirit of the spirits of the ancestors surround turquoise.
Oh, that is my birthstone.
I know what it did to this.
Yeah. Thanks. Okay. Well, that's it. You want to close it out?
That's it, everybody. We have had a very interesting conversation with our very interesting friend Carla Simpson. As you can see, she is funny as all the words I can't say because I don't want to get fined.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so we thank you for joining us. We thank her for joining us. We wish you luck, peace, and blessings in everything that you do.
We will be there for generations.
That's right. I'm going to be right there. And guess where I'm going to be at, y'all? In the seat that the lady tells me to sit in. Thank y'all for listening. Tune in every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You're listening to Key Squared on the Air. Thank you so much, guys. We're out.